Dua Lipa and Megan Thee Stallion recently released their new single Sweetest Pie, which is a nice radio effort complimentary of both artists. While promoting their new single, they did an interview where they talked about double standards, and there is some subtle shade at some musicians that I want to talk about. The guitar line in particular stood out to me, where Dua said, "A female artist, she gets up on stage, she's literally dancing her ass off, putting on this crazy performance, singing at the same time. And then you see a man getting up on stage and he's standing." She says, "All of a sudden it's all praise to the guy and the guitar." I feel like this comment in particular was very self-serving and one-dimensional, particularly coming from Dua, since she has gotten turned into a meme from her past awkward dances. But I want to stress that playing an instrument is not a secondary talent to dancing. Playing an instrument takes a lot of skill in general, but I can only imagine how playing proficiently and continuously throughout a show can be such a tasking job. So yes, men with guitars or just a single instrument are also worthy of praise if they give a good performance. Like Elton John, for example, who Dua recently collaborated with. Elton is a legend in music who is known for his piano playing skills. You will not be seeing Elton dancing like Michael Jackson at a concert. That is just not his appeal as an artist. And the same can be said for other legends like Stevie Wonder, for example, who is known for a similar performance style. He will likely be playing instruments and singing. That doesn't mean he isn't capable of giving a groundbreaking and competent performance. My mind also goes back to people like Whitney Houston, who didn't play instruments or do elaborate choreography, but her live shows were often better than her studio recordings because she was just that talented. Modern day, you have people like Adele who just stands and sings, as well as someone like Ed Sheeran who's a guy with a guitar, but that is the basis of their artistry. A lot of Ed Sheeran's discography is shaped by his guitar playing skills and acoustics, as is Adele with her voice. And even Taylor Swift, who is known to do a little shimmy and two-step on stage, has her fair share of guitar and piano live performances, once again because her writing is the basis of her artistry. No one is looking to Taylor Swift to be able to dance like Janet Jackson. Even with rappers, just now we've started to see more of them incorporate high-gloss props on stage. Kanye was really one of the first of this millennium to really push the envelope for rap performances. And more recently, people like Tyler the Creator and Travis Scott instantly come to mind. But rappers are generally not expected to do high-gloss performances because that's not what rap fans care about. It's more about being cool and the energy and commanding the stage. You have someone like DMX who gave one of the most notable performances by a rapper by just having great stage presence, no props. As well as someone like Kendrick Lamar who constantly delivers while not relying heavily on props. But I will say, like, people like Nicki, since she is a rapper, have given good performances where she's just standing and not doing too much and just rapping, and the crowd responded well. I say all this to say you don't need to have props, you don't need to do tight choreography to have a moving or great performance. And moreover, the comparison doesn't really make sense when it's someone making acoustic or stripped back music compared to someone who's literally making disco and dance music. But I also want to make clear that if you do have a bad or awkward performance, just because you are dancing or at least attempting to, doesn't give you exemption of criticism over someone who doesn't dance and gives a better performance. There's no hierarchy, it's a fair game, at least when it comes to different dynamics and different styles of performances. Now, where I can 100% agree with Megan and Dua on is the double standard when it comes to presentation. Guys can come out looking raggedy, dressed down, and like they haven't showered in 2 weeks and no one says anything. But if anything is slightly off about a woman's presentation, she will hear about it for a very long time. And I think that's a very obvious double standard for women in general, and especially women in the media. Women are always expected to look and present their best in the public eye. Meanwhile, men can come out with ripped jeans, dirty shirt, and people don't bat an eye. Anyway, there is room for all different types of performers to give great performances. And if the guy with the guitar happens to be that person to give a great performance, he deserves praise for his performance, just as anyone who is doing a grand pop performance with good choreography. Props and choreography does not make a great performance in my opinion. There have been many people who use props and all these grand things, but they don't have the stage presence to pull it off. They get lost in the props. Someone who I think has mastered both is Lady Gaga with some of the iconic performances she's given throughout her career. She has utilized props, but she also has very great stage presence throughout her iconic performances, as well as she has some stripped back performances that are just as compelling. Dancing does not automatically award you praise or a great or a good performance. It's all about you as a performer. So yes, someone playing an instrument is just as worthy of praise as someone dancing. But neither of those things on either side of the spectrum can necessarily dictate a great performance. It's more about the artist, their artistry, and what they can bring to the stage and make people feel while they are on stage.